Well, it has come to that time of the year where I will discuss my favorite movies of 2013. I had a really hard time this year with creating a top 10 list and an honorable mentions list because this was a really great year for movies. I didn't expect a lot of movies to crack the top 10 like they did, and I'm viewing films differently as I'm getting older. Last year it was like a lot of blockbuster films that were in my top 10, but this year it's more artsy movies that I'm understanding more, and honorable mentions. There's some blockbusters in there, but they just didn't crack my top 10. So before we get started with the top 10, I have a long list of honorable mentions, and I wanted to create a top 20 list. I had a lot of honorable mentions that I wanted to put in my top 20, but I just couldn't do it. It was so hard. So honorable mentions for 2013. These were really great films, but they just didn't crack the top 10. And those are Dallas Buyers Club. That was in my top 10 at one point, but got pushed out. Nebraska, Fast and Furious 6, Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. You know, I was really looking forward to that, but just didn't meet its expectations. The Wolverine, great Marvel movie this year. 12 Years a Slave, that was one I was considering putting in my top 10 of the performances from everybody in the movie, but just didn't crack it. The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, Monsters University, The Great Gatsby, Elysium, Insidious Chapter 2, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Fruitvale Station, Inside Llewyn Davis, Mud, The Conjuring, Place Beyond the Pines, The Spectacular Now, and Spring Breakers. Yes, Spring Breakers. Those were movies that I thought were really great, but just didn't have a place in my top 10. Alright, so getting to my top 10, this is probably the hardest top 10 I've ever had to ever create. I actually sat down for a few days and thought about it. Then I saw a movie recently that I had to add to it. So coming in at number 10 is, yes, American Hustle is the newest movie by David O. Russell, and I really enjoyed his take on the con artist and everybody, the great cast of Bradley Cooper, Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence, Jeremy Renner. Everybody came together to make a really great movie, and it was suspenseful at moments, really funny, great mixture of drama, comedy, and I just really did enjoy it. So coming in at number 9 was a movie that I didn't expect to be in my top 10 at all. I just wasn't really looking forward to it, but I did saw it, and that is Saving Mr. Banks. Is the movie that I think is like the ideal perfect movie. I didn't have one issue with it, and I loved the pacing of the movie, the back and forth of P.L. Travers with Walt Disney and her past, and how it all came together at the end. And it was really great to see Tom Hanks as Walt Disney and Disneyland, and how they actually created Mary Poppins. So it was really nice to see that movie. I really did enjoy it. And Emma Thompson gives a really great performance. Colin Farrell, everybody, the performances were knocked out of the park, and I really did enjoy this movie. Number 8 is another Tom Hanks movie, and that is, so Captain Phillips is a movie that I've sat through, and it was so damn suspenseful. It was crazy. The scenes where they're taking over the boat and where Tom Hanks is with the pirates, it's so crazy how suspenseful it was to me, and that's why it is my number 8 movie of 2013. Coming in at number 7 is an animated movie, Disney's one of their best of recent years, and that is, I had such a fun time with Frozen. The music, the animation, the 3D, the characters. I had a smile on my face the whole time in this movie, and the music, it was so good, and it reminded me of like a classic Disney movie, and a Disney movie hasn't done that to me in a long time. And Frozen is why it sits at number 7 for 2013. Coming at number 6 is a movie that honestly really did surprise me because of the previous movies I didn't care for, and that is, you know, I really didn't care for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, but The World's End is the first one I actually saw in theaters. I view films differently when I see it in theaters, because I'm actually just sitting there. You know, at home you're kind of doing your own thing and you get up and do whatever. But The World's End, I sat through and I laughed so hard, and it was smart humor. It wasn't some of this dumb humor we get recently, but it was really great humor and a great story, great characters. They came like they're all reuniting, and it was so fun to see them all together, and the hijinks and him, Simon Pegg being really funny, and the turn of the movie was really great. So you expect it to be this kind of movie, but then it's like, nope, it's this kind of movie. And it, you know, people could view like, oh, I don't know, I don't really understand that, but I actually loved that it was like, it completely turned into a different movie in the middle of the movie. You know, by the trailers you already knew what's going to happen, but I really like that, and that's why it sits at number 6 for 2013. Alright, so the top 5, these are the movies that I enjoyed the most. These are the heavy hitters, the best movies of the year, and these are the movies that I truly adore and can't wait to watch more and more throughout the years. Coming at number 5 is a movie that I didn't see in theaters, I saw at home, and it's a movie that right before I watched this movie, I watched the 2 previous movies. And these 2 previous movies will always have a special place in my heart, and I love them, and they were in my back of my mind for weeks. And then this movie came out, and I almost said it. This movie came out, and I watched it, and it was perfect. And that is... So the Before Sunrise, Sunset, Midnight trilogy, directed by Rich Linklater, is the perfect trilogy and are the perfect films. I love these movies so much, and it's just straight dialogue, and that's what I love about them. The first, Before Sunrise, it's just them talking. Sunset, them talking. You know, Before Midnight, there's a little more jump scenes, but I absolutely adored Before Midnight. I loved that this movie is so effing real. The relationships are so real, it is crazy. I don't have this kind of relationship, but I can tell by how Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy acted, and it was so real, and I love this movie. It's not the best one out of the trilogy, but it is still a great addition, and I love this movie so much. The dialogue is one of the best I've ever seen. The script is amazing. The acting, the characters, I absolutely love this trilogy, and I never thought I would, because I just saw them in October, and it's crazy how much I absolutely love these characters and everything that this guy has created, and I can't wait for Before Sunrise and Sunset to actually come out on Blu-ray. I love these movies, and Before Midnight is why it sits at number 5 for 2013. Number 4, a movie that a lot of people bashed, critics didn't like, some did, some, you know, it was iffy, but it's Zack Snyder's. I loved Man of Steel. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. You know, some scenes felt forced, but overall it was a great Man of Steel movie and Superman movie, and a great jump for DC. You know, they had the Batman trilogy going for them, but now they have Man of Steel, and they can go off of that, hopefully create a Justice League movie and more, become like Marvel. And I really did love Man of Steel. The fight scenes were crazy. It felt like a video game. Krypton looked really great. Russell Crowe gives a great performance. Michael Shannon, Kevin Costner, everybody gives a great performance, and Man of Steel is just a crazy action movie with great scenes, great shots, and I just love Man of Steel. I know a lot of people didn't, but I think Man of Steel is a great DC movie. Coming at number 3 is a movie I expected to be really high on my list, and that is This Is the End. Brings a great cast together of James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, Jonah Hill, Craig Robinson, Danny McBride, Michael Cera, Emma Watson. So the cast, it just goes on, And these are all characters and actors that I loved. I love all of these actors, especially James Franco and Jonah Hill. And they just come together, they play themselves, and they just rip off of each other, and it's so funny. I love anything these guys put out, and that's why it's my number 3 of 2013. Number 2 is a movie that sat at my number 1 for a while, and this movie I was so excited to see by the trailers, and when I saw it, I walked out, I was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and that is Prisoners. Is a very real movie, and I like the take that Hugh Jackman does exactly what people need to do when they are in these situations. You know, some movies, are times where like, why would you do that? I can't believe you would think of doing something like that. And Hugh Jackman does exactly what I would do. And Prisoners is such a haunting, deeply twisted, dark movie, and it's hard to watch at scenes, but all the actors gave great performances. Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, oh my god, great performance. Terrence Howard, Paul Dano, everybody, great performance. But it was so dark and so haunting, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and my neck was hurting, and I can't believe how this movie was. The shots were amazing. Prisoners was the best movie of the year until I saw this movie. Coming in at number 1 is a movie that just recently came out, and it is Martin Scorsese's The Wolf of Wall Street. Beginning of the movie, I thought to myself, this movie is crazy. Everything is out there and to the extreme, and it is Martin Scorsese's best movie in my opinion. I absolutely love this movie. As you see, I have a big smile on my face because this is like the first time I'm talking about this movie to people, and it's just like, I know it was a 2 hour and 59-minute movie, but not one moment was I not interested in it. I was so interested in this movie, I just sat there and I'm just drawn into the movie the whole time. I got a smile on my face, I'm laughing. The drama's great, great mixture of suspense. It felt like Goodfellas, of the cursing, the drugs. I love the take on Wall Street and how you get Leonardo DiCaprio, who is this one person in the beginning of the movie and then just spirals out of control and is this completely different person at the end of the movie. And it's just like Goodfellas. And I love the cursing in the movie, the drugs, and you know, these are bad people. These are bad people in the movie. Jonah Hill and Leonardo DiCaprio are bad people, but you just can't help to have fun with them. This isn't a review because I haven't reviewed it yet, but Wolf of Wall Street is my number 1 favorite movie of the year, and I can't believe how much fun I had with it. So this is my top 10 list of 2013. I would like to say that this is my list, and I respect everybody's opinions, and you guys should do the same. This is my list, and this is where I want my movies to be, and I'm sorry if people think I should have these higher or lower, but this is my opinion, and I respect everybody's opinions, and I think you guys should do the same. But 2013 was a great year for movie. I'm viewing films differently, and I'm excited, and I love that some movies cracked my top 10, and disappointed movies that didn't crack my top 10. So I love my list of 2013. So comment down below and what's your top 10 movies of 2013. I will be creating my top 10 worst movies of 2013. That's a little bit easier because there was some crappy movies this year. But my top 10 2013 movie list, comment down below, tell me what you think. This is Just to Watch the Movies. Please remember to rate, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.